Good afternoon, student. For today's second session of SAP, we have Nagaraj sir with us. We will continue the class just after 10 minutes once the more attendees get joined. Thank you, students. Stay tuned and stay awake.
So students, uh, welcome back. Any questions? You're most welcome. So we will just give others some time to join, maybe say 5-10 minutes, and then we will start. Yeah. And please feel free to let us know how you felt about the session so far from day one to today. All right. How the subject was, Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I still see 49. Couple of more minutes and we will start. All right, students. In the meantime, please feel free to ask me questions and how you felt about the subject. So without waiting much, we will start off. Before that, let me see if I have any questions. How can we create company? Okay. Good afternoon. Yeah. How can we create a company code? Okay. I will not tell you the whole process because this course doesn't require you to create any company code, but I will definitely take you to the process. All right. I will tell you where exactly the consultant creates the company code and probably touch upon the steps. Okay. Just hold on. So basically we need to get into the SAP system. So basically it's the activity of the consultant. So the end user doesn't have any role. Good. You asked me this question. Wonderful. And this is exactly how I would want the session to move so that you ask me questions and I give you the answers. All right. Enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting. See, I'm in the SPR, IMG. Edit, copy, delete, check company code. This is a place where the consultant comes and creates the company code. See, any entity, if it's the company code, the chart of accounts, the chart of depreciation, or the asset class, whatever, even the document can be created in two different methodologies. You can make use of the somewhere in the middle. I'll just put this statement. You can use the copy method. That means, we already have the 0001 INT as the standards. Some of K4. What is K4? The fiscal year variant. So what we do is we can use the standards. That's exactly why we stress on the point. Even before you venture out doing things on your own, please know the standard SAP system. Try to make the best use of the standards. So here we copy from the standards what SAP has already delivered to us, or we can also use our own methodology, non-copy. Simple. The non-copy. That means, see, we looked at a simple concept while creating the general ledger account with and without template. With template, it's the same thing. Clear? So normally, since we are sticking on to the subject of the company code, this is exactly where we create the company. It's the job of a consultant, and this is the place where the consultant creates the company. He follows any one of the methodologies. Normally in the live projects, it is a non-copy method. Clear? Copy method is only for the beginners. We create, so we take the help of the standard and we start developing the company. Clear? I hope I have answered that point. So since I am doubtful if you have the access to do this, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I think Mr. Kunal can take up the other question any day. Okay, he will look into it. That should not be a problem. Okay. So basically, I'm just keeping quiet on the creation part of SAP because that is simply not your area as of now. Yeah. So this is how we actually create the company code. And this, the copy and the non-copy method doesn't necessarily apply only to the company code. It applies to everything. Yeah, we saw the example of a GL account. So we also could post a document by using the previously posted document. That also we saw. So this is exactly how things move in SAP. Yeah. Now, coming back to the slides. So the organizational levels, the organizational structure typically followed in your O2C process. You have obviously your client, your company code, your sales organization, storage location, shipping point, distribution channels, all this distribution channel, division. So all these are being sales organization. It is similar to your company code. This actually starts the sales and distribution model. Clear? And you should also observe one thing, it is always under the company code. So that's exactly why I was always stressing on the point that company code is one of the primary and one of the very basic creations. Now do you see how much responsibility the finance consultant has? Yeah. Sales organization. So you can read it in your free time, dear students. Okay. You can understand the what is a sales organization, right? So the distribution channel, what is a distribution channel? It is okay. So you can understand what exactly and how you need to classify your distribution channels. You in the sense, I mean the sales and distribution people. Okay. It's not the finance people whom I'm telling. Division. What is a division? He has given you the examples. Yeah. What is the sales area? So all these things typically your these things flow from your SD module. Another thing is your shipping point. That means what is a shipping point? Where exactly you need to deliver the goods. All right. The customer has ordered a few items and where you need to ship. So we also understood what is ship to party, bill to party, pay to party. Some when we were discussing the customer master. Clear? When we were discussing the customer account group. So we saw all that. Clear? But of course. So you're already very familiar with what is the customer master data, how you create. And here the only difference is we are talking from the integration perspective. That is the combination of your FI and your sales data. See, you can see this is exactly what we saw FI customer. Now, this is your generic information. These are the two levels of information which we saw. Now, the third dimension of a customer is your customer sales distribution, and from that sales organization perspective that you are going to add data from the sales side. Yeah, just like we saw the purchase organization from the purchase module, that is the module, we see something called as a uh, sales organization from the sales module. Condition records. Now, what is this condition records? Just like we have our bread and butter areas like your chart of accounts and the other things, the fiscal year, the field status. Similarly, this is the bread and butter of your SDP. Now, where exactly do you see this? All right. Now, where exactly do you see this? Yes. Do I need to relog it? Oh, just give me a couple of minutes, students. So the condition records or the condition types, they are the creations of your SD. Okay, first let us finish this. Click on each of the icons to learn. What is a condition master record? In the condition master record, you define the pricing, how the product should be priced. At what price are you going to sell? Taxation details. Various elements such as the base price, the discounts, surcharges, the rate information, and the taxation details. Now, what is this? Let us read. Classification of the conditions. Prices, discounts, charges, or the whatever. What is this? Key components of the condition master records. Just hold on. I'll open the SAP system for you. Let me get into the consultant screen to have something called as the, let me get into that place. AR and AP, or yeah, I can get into this. Tax on sales and purchases. Basic settings. All right. Calculation. tax codes. Countries are in. Okay, let me go to the tax procedures. Just hold on, students. Let me go to the tax procedures first. Basic settings, calculation procedure. Can you see define condition types? Double click. Of course, we are not going to do anything. I'm just showing you a place where you have the condition types or the condition types. See, normally you have BASB, MWAS, BA, which is a condition type for your basic price. BASB, can you see this? Base amount. Double click on this, it will show you the characteristics of what exactly this is. So all these, what is this condition class, calculation type, all these are understood by the SD people. This is your condition types. Clear, students? And you have the commonly used as far as the okay, condition types. Let me get into MWAS, which is for output tax. Double click. See, the output tax is calculated taking into consideration so many factors. Clear, students? So this is exactly your condition types. Yeah. So did we see what was the base price, the discounts, and we have seen from the discounts perspective, where did we see the discounts? Payment terms. We saw that 0002. Did you see the behavior of the invoice? Pay immediately. And when I assign the payment terms to the master record of the customer or the vendor, the discount terms took over. 14 days, 3%. So we saw all that calculations. Condition records, VK11, to create condition records. Just, of course, we may not be in a position to understand the whole meaning of this, but let us have a look at the condition. We just have a look at the transaction code. See, it will ask you for the condition type. MWAS. There is no access sequence. We saw the access sequence, right? So let me pick up. Is there a standard? Okay, I'll simply double click on something. So this is your condition record. See, let us see if there is something for the US. Australia. Something for Australia. Germany. GP. Georgia. DE. Germany. See, DE, there is a, okay, even this doesn't have. Okay, no problem. So you see, so based on this is how your condition types look like. Condition records. So yeah. So all these you saw the sale order VA01, sale order transaction. I've already put it in my Excel sheet. Sale order VA01. Let me see if he's talking about the same thing. Sale order transaction. Sales area. Right. I think he has not given the transaction code. As a transaction data, this concept is valid. All right. Sales document. So please read. Okay. So we just understood, or we had earlier understood the concept of what is sold to party, ship to party, bill to party, pay to party, right? Click on each information icon. Please read it in your leisure. Availability check. Processing a delivery document. Just a minute, students. So we have also been given a few examples of what is a, where you need to actually ship. Okay, where do you have to take it to be delivered? You already know about it, document header and the document ID. The same thing holds good for any kind of a document generated by any of the, say, any of the modules. Did we see VF01, which is your billing? VF01. This is your billing. Yeah, I think we saw this before lunch. We saw this. This is your billing document. So once this is released to accounting, then and only then the SAP system or the finance department will know that there is a collection pending data. Yeah. What is there here? Let me just check. Okay, not. So that's why I said the data needs to be complete. Yeah. See, as we had a relation from the PO for every kind of a MIGO or a MIRO, here again, see, whenever you are creating a billing document, data is picked up from the sales order. That is a basic document. Correct? Processing a customer invoice. So we had the KZ document. So the billing document serves as a data for financial accounting to help you to monitor the customer receipts. Okay. So we saw that process of, say, uh, balance confirmations, your aging analysis. Clear? So this is where it is all picked up. Explain the concept of lead to cash process. So this ends the lead to cash process. And the remaining processes, students, I think they're all self-explanatory. Okay. So let us quickly uh, round up on that. Project systems, try to understand what is project systems. I was talking about the PS module, project systems module. So he starts by explaining what is a project, activities. So please read them. All right. Projects are usually complex and unique and involve a high degree of risk. We have all felt this when we were working on the project systems. Projects have precise targets, limited duration. You can just read them through, dear students. If at all there is something which needs to be explained, I definitely will do it. So project systems. This is totally a different module altogether. As I said, your WBS is your work breakdown structure, and probably you could come across uh, network concepts like network and all other things also, because I remember having done it. See, network. Networks are used to represent the individual project activities. So what is a WBS? What is a network? What is activities? Yeah, from the PS perspective, project systems perspective. So the WBS forms the basis for all subsequent planning. So all for you to read, dear students. Okay. So does this concept, you can assign the following organization units to WBS elements. Does it strike something? When we were discussing the internal orders, I said your internal order can be settled against the cost center, can be settled against a fixed asset. Okay. So these are all the other components which can link up to the other modules. Clear? We can generate a cost center based settlement rules. We already have experience what is the settlement rule. Clear? Valid receivers, you saw resource planning in a project. Students, please go through this. Okay. You don't have to uh, understand each and every letter. It does take time for you to understand. Give yourself some time to understand. Not at all a problem. So this is all for you to read. Budget planning. We have already seen this, right? He has given you a few examples. FI and CO postings. So as I said, the data flow into the CO module can be from any module, and PS is one of the strong contenders where you can expect a lot of things happening between CO and PS. Clear? What is this account assignment category in your PO? You remember whenever I was purchasing an asset, I gave A. That is your account assignment category. Yeah. So he has given you few examples. Please read it. Period end closing activities. Elaborate steps. Okay. Settlement of a project. We are already aware of what is the settlement rule, the receiver, the varied receivers, senders, distribution rule, settlement rules, budget profile, planning profile. We have all seen this. So it applies to each and every component in your CO. It is not, it is just not only for your cost center or for an internal order or for anything else. It is applicable to every, the concept is applicable to each and every uh, what should I say, entity. Now we are talking about WBS. We are talking about the project systems, right? So what does the note say? You can create settlement rules. See here we saw the settlement rules in respect of the IO, internal order, but here he is talking about from the WBS perspective. Concept is the same. So see, very brief, because it is, see, the idea is you should know what is available in SAP. How you do it comes later. But you should know that, okay, there is some concept called as project systems. All right. So there is some concept called as budgeting. There is some concept called as planning. So some video. Asset management. We have already seen the asset management, fixed assets. I was expecting, what about the HR and FI? We have already seen the activity types and the statistical key figures and all of this, but I was just expecting there is, I think it is going to come. Continuation steps to create a notification. Just for you to read, I'm just moving ahead. We are almost through with the session. Your PM is plant maintenance module. All right. And I was about to show you what is catch, right? CATS. Cross application timesheet is your catch. This is exactly how we used to record our attendance. How we have spent time on the project. I think I had made a note of it in my Excel. Let me just check. Yes, catch. Okay, technical field. Okay, I'll finish off with the catch. Another interesting point. Good, I referred my Excel sheet. So let's get into the transaction code CATS. Catch classic timesheet. So this is exactly where you actually execute these. I don't think there is any. Okay, let me record it. Cat2 is your, see, I need to enter the data profile and I would enter my personal number, my employee number, and record my sheet. Personal number. See, some should have got created. I don't have the personal number, so I have to create. See how I'm lacking the data. See, I don't have the personal number. Okay, let me try this. See, personal does not exist. So I had to create, and whose responsibility is this? HR. All right. Where do they create? Let me just check, students. This is your payroll. Okay, forget about it. All right. So yeah, coming back to the technical field names. So I said while discussing yesterday, SAP will not understand what a company code is, what is your document date, what is your posting date. It doesn't understand. So now, how will I see? I had actually said that we create something called as a functional specs. How do we create? How do we make the technical team understand the functional requirement? If at all there is a, say in some inventory report, I want to make some changes. How will I make them understand the requirement? So I will have to talk in their language. Now, how will I know the technical name for some of the things? Let me enter into a document. So now what is a document date? I and you know what is a document date. The technical person will not know. So here I press F1. So the document date is the date on which the original document was issued. Perfect. I'll go to the symbols, the spanner symbol, where it says technical information. Click. And it takes me, what is the field name called? What am I looking at? I am looking at a document date, which is called as BLDAT in SAP. It is called as BLDAT. It is identified by SAP by BLDAT. Now, if I tell the technical consultant the field BLDAT has to be this, has to be that, he will understand, okay, I need to make changes there. So I need to definitely extract this information and produce this in the way he understands. He means I'm talking about technical person. Clear? Here again. Now, what is a company code called? BUKRS. It is called as BUKRS. So if you tell the technical consultant or SAP company code, they don't understand. They will understand only this language, BUKRS. So this is your technical name. Every field will be having a technical name by which SAP understands what exactly it is. Your GL account is you and I know what is a GL account. How does SAP understand? It in SAP understands through HKONT is the name for your GL account. Clear, students? So you have different kinds of tables also, structure, cluster, right? So all these, let's not get into the depths of discussing each one of them. So this is about your technical names, technical fields. Yeah. And we were talking about the settlement, percentage of settlement. So I will just tell you somewhere, I don't remember on what instance we referred to this, but anyway, go to SPR. Now do you see percentage settlement? So this is exactly where we define what is the percentage of settlement. Clear? There should be something also to be settled in full, can be settled, not for settlement. So we saw the valid receivers also. So how long is the residence time? How long is this particular entity active? Suppose I have an exhibition which is for 3 months. So I would let the internal order existing for 3 months. Clear? This is where exactly I set the amount of settlement. So I can actually do anything. Anyway, I'm not going to say. So this is exactly where we see how we can control so many factors. Interesting, students? I see some questions already? Let me just check. No questions. All right. Students, anything else you wanted to know? Any topic to be revised? I'll be more than happy to do so. All right. Now, maintenance order creation. your plant maintenance module, right? So all for you to read, nothing for you to actually. So did we read this or did we understand this from a different perspective? I spoke to you about the status of each of the internal order, CRTD. Where is that? See, created, REL, released, TCO, technically complete. Same thing applies to your maintenance orders also, but different. Conceptually, it is the same. Okay. Period in with respect to your PM, plant maintenance. So now he hired to retire process. So this is your FI and your HR. Basically, we integrate with the HR people on two areas. One is your travel management, the other one is your payrolls. Yeah. Organizational structure, and so you have your personal number, your personal being created. Okay. PA30. I think PA30 is a transaction code. This is where you create your personal, see, personal. So I create the employee using this transaction code, but I wouldn't know what data to give, clear? Because this is strictly a transaction code for your HR people. So good that I remember the transaction code because I had closely worked on one of the projects with the HR. So, okay. You create a reporting structure by creating and maintaining positions, organization actions, okay, personal data, address. So here the cycle hire to retire is between, basically we have two areas, payroll and your travel management. Okay. So these are all created by the HR people, the jobs, the personnel, the employees, they are all created by the HR people. We are not responsible for creating the employees. So this cycle deals with the the moment the person is hired till the time he moves out of the company. He either resigns or he retires. Yeah. Earlier it was called as hire to fire. Yeah, now it is called as hire to retire. Subdued term, hire to retire. hire to fire was a stronger term. Okay. So it was called as hire to fire. Now we have the, the mellowed down concept, hire to retire. Yeah. So we already know what is a cost center. Okay. So it is revolving around the same already known concepts. Clear, students? Info type. Where did you see that info type? Info type. Can you see it here? Okay. So we may or may not know what necessarily is your info type, but yeah, this info type must be added first. So we may or may not understand the concept completely. Still okay. Not a problem. So employee master record. When you save the data out here in the screen, when you save, you get you create you first give the personal number. All right. So you create a number. You can have the actions, you can have the personal data. Entry is too long for the field. Okay. So you can just go and yeah, select the play button. You can select, maintain the employee master data. He's talking to you about the info types. We already seen the screen PA30. Yeah. So the personal file is created with that particular employee number. Now, just like you have your uh, self-dependent apps to order for food or for your items, this also is your ESS, employee self-service, for whatever requirement, maybe say for a training or whatever, he can visit this and place his requests. Suppose he wants to undergo some training or some examination or whatever. So we already know what is a success factor. It is it is acquired by SAP. All right. Travel expenses. And sometime before, we also discussed about the holiday calendar, right? When we were discussing the Dunning procedure, public holiday calendar, you remember? This also is designed by your view the calendar, the holiday calendar 99, you remember? That also is defined by the chart. Now we will take a short break and meet up after 10 minutes.
Sure, sir.
So students will reassemble by 3:10. All right. So any questions, students? We have a couple of more minutes left for us to finish off with the program. Do you want me to revise from the day one, students? A quick, maybe say I'll spend another 5-10 more minutes on the slides. In the meantime, I'll just finish off all the slides also by then, maybe say maximum 15 minutes, just to ensure that I have not left out with any new term or something. Do you think I need to revise everything, every topic? Quick recap. I mean, fine. Okay, we'll do. We'll do. Okay, just give me 15-20 more minutes, wherein I'll be finishing off with the slides. Okay, and uh, whatever other things are there, let us just finish it up. I think I have maybe say 20 more slides to finish off with exactly 23 more slides. Okay, let's quickly go through it and let us pick up if there is something new. So as I said, from the process of hiring with all the processes of your uh, promotions, your travel, everything is see onboarding, monitor costs and gains, employee life cycle stories, your payroll. Okay, from onboarding to your offboarding. All right. One of the things where we actively integrate with the HR module, we in the sense the finance module. Clear? So you just click on each and everything and you will be getting the explanation for that. All right. So what is SAP Gen? It is a collaboration. Okay. So SAP success factors learning combines formal, social, extended learning with unmatched content management. What does this have? Click on each of the features to know. Store learning activities in a single location. So all the typical processes. So this is exactly what I said. You evaluate the performance through various parameters. Clear? The employee's aspirations, his growth, right? Everything is measured. So I think you can click on each of the items out here and you can read them. So we have the lesson summary coming up. So the whole life of a employee's existence in the organization is mapped, starting from his recruitment, his learning, his promotions, his payroll, knowledge check. All right, let us see. So which of the following is a SAP solution for travel and expense management? Can somebody take a chance? We have already read this. Any answers, students? We have already seen this. That's why I'm asking you the answer. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have a quick recap. So I would click on Conquer. Okay. So please try to understand the topic, and I'm not even going to read the questions. So 266 is the last page. Now we have come to financial accounting, which we have already seen. Okay. So starting from day one, what did we learn? So we started with what is an ERP. We came to know about the earlier ERP products. Second thing is we learned about SAP. So why SAP is gaining such a strong foothold in the ERP segment, that we came to know. And what exactly is SAP designed for? How it works specifically from the finance angle. So we have all seen that, understood the concepts of starting from, say, your company code, so starting from understanding what is a ERP, what is SAP, what is the ECC SAP, what is HANA SAP, what differentiates between these two. All right. Now we also saw things getting bifurcated into the functional and the technical modules. Yeah. So what constituted the functional modules is this, the whole set. And what constitutes the technical modules? All right. What is HANA? High performance analytics. What is Fiori? What is the concept of tiles? So we all saw that. So we saw what were the sub-modules under the finance module. Your GL, AR, AP, assets, banks. Clear? Now, so who are the different users of the SAP system? The consultants and the end users. What is the role? they play in the project. All right. So what is the roles and responsibilities of a consultant, right? And what is the roles and responsibilities of an end user? What is the expectation from a consultant? Okay. So what architecture does SAP follow? The R3 architecture. What is R? What is 3? And how it evolved to the R3 system. Yeah. It didn't straight away construct the R3 system. So it went through the process of growth. It went through the process of understanding the business changes, business requirements. Yeah. We understood what is a master data, what is transactional data, right? So we had a understanding of what is this. Okay. Even before I get into the other side, I wanted to show you a tape. Normally we see we came across BKPF. Yeah, let me just show you, just for your curiosity. If at all you want to see, probably this transaction code will be better avoided. So how would a table look like? So I would give the table BKPF, enter, execute. I will pick up the company code GM0. So what am I extracting? I am extracting the header information data of the document in the company code GM01. Yeah. I can also mention the document number. That is also okay. So execute. I will restrict myself to a maximum of 100 or say even 50, more than fiscal year 2025. All right. So execute. So it gives me, see the technical names for those fields: BUKRS, BLNR, okay, GJAHR, right? It is just not they have found some name and they have, no, there is a specific meaning for this also. What is BLNR? What is GJAHR? What is BUKRS? What is MANDT? Why is it MANDT? Yeah. So can you see the document? So we have the document 140 and only one item. Yeah. Entered by me. None of them have actually entered the documents in the year 2025. None. Okay, not a problem. So now this is your BKPF. Now, what is the difference? I will extract the BSIG for the same document 100000141. Now see the difference. This is a line item table, BSIG. Clear? I think there is 10 missing. Okay, let it throw on here. Then I'll correct the document number. Not responding. Just hold on, students. Let it open. I think 10 is missing in the document number. Anyway, let it throw out an error, then I will correct the document number. Let it see. Let us see. See? Oh, why? It's pulled out so many. Zero. Document number. No values. I think there's one. I'll be out and come back in. B7. No plus. Okay, let's just wait and let me see how many line items it picks up. Just hold on, students. Why is it taking so much of time to retrieve? See, now, if you had observed for the same document number, your BKPF had only one line item because it was header. Now that this particular document 141 for the year 2025 had two line items, one debit and one credit for 500 rupees. So since this is a line item table, it is containing two entries. Whereas in your header table, it contains only one entry. Did you observe that? I'll open the other session. Just hold on. I will take you to the BKPF. All right. So I'm in BKPF. Sorry. This is the header table. So this will contain only one line item. This will contain only one entry. This will have only one line. Whereas your line item table, which is your BSEG, has two line items because this document number 141 consisted of two line items, one debit, one credit. Yeah, let us see. See, it has only one line item. So it contains the larger information of the or the see, same document, one line, same document, two lines. So this contains only the header information, like what happened, who posted, and who was the user. All right. And this particular line item table has two line items, the debit and the credit. So this is the difference between your header and your line item table. Yeah. I don't think you will be getting the. I'm trying to see. Does not exist because this is not a HANA platform. All right. So that's why I'm not able to display the ACDOCA table. Clear? So this is your table display. Tables and the fields. Clear, students? Now, so basically, when we try to touch upon the finance module, or rather any of the module, we always start with something called as the org structure or your organizational structure. And for any module or for every module, client is your first entity. Client is the first and the foremost and the primary information what you give. Later, the module specific organizational entities, they go and form the organizational structure. Like for example, your company code is the basic necessity or the most mandatory creations as far as your finance module is concerned. Okay, so once you have done that, your finance activities you have laid a foundation for your finance related activities. Now, what are the other components of your organization structure as far as your FICO module is concerned? You have various other concepts, like say you have something called as an organized operating concern. Operating concern is not mandatory. It is mandatory or it is required only and only when you have your COPA module, which forms a very critical component in your controlling and your costing module. All right. The operating concern is not mandatory, but required only and only when you have the COPA module, cost and your profitability analysis module, where what do you exactly do in your COPA module? You understand the profitability, you understand the functioning of your business. Not only from the transactional perspective, the transactional perspective is already given to you from the FI model, but from the operative side of your business, how productive, how profitable, how can I be more profitable, how can I carry out my operations more effectively, more productively. These things are given by this information is given by the CO module. So on one hand, your finance module is generate reports for your external agencies where you're taking care of the legal requirements, like producing your balance sheet, profit and loss account, trial balance for your auditor, for your stakeholders, for your governmental agencies like your sales department or your commercial department, whatever. Clear? Now, again, you have a just give me a minute, students. A moment, just a moment. So sorry, students. Just give me a few seconds. So, now, whenever you have your company codes reporting back to its mother company or to the corporate office, you have another concept which is being brought in called as the company. So your company is nothing but your mother office, your mother company, where the child company or the company codes, they are reporting the results back to the head office so that the results are getting consolidated at the corporate level. Yeah, so the corporate office is reporting the results of all the company codes under the head office. Yeah, so this is called as your consolidation or your whatever. Okay, again, if at all there is no concept of consolidation at all, is there a requirement for company? No. In that case, only your company code is more than enough. So that's why we say that the company code is the mandatory creation in your SAP projects. So every other module constructs its own structure under the company. Clear? Now, as soon as the company code is created, don't you have to tell the SAP system what is the set of general ledger account that this particular company code which I have created is going to use? So where are these general ledger accounts held? Again, this is the first and the foremost master records which the finance consultant creates. After creation of the company code, the immediate next step would be the creation uh, of the chart of accounts. Now, since this is, I said this is, so why is the chart of accounts required? The chart of accounts is required basically to keep a track of your transactions. Because what is your business? Your business is, or rather, as a matter of fact, what is business? Why do you have to have a business? It is your incoming of money and outgoing of money, right? So with this, so you will have to definitely record the transactions, specifically the finance related transactions, so that you know where exactly you are positioned. So you will know your profits or your losses. So basically you design a structure, a set of general ledger accounts, which is used to take care of your business transactions. And these set of general ledger accounts, they are held in a master record called as your chart of accounts. So here again, you have a mandatory chart of account, which is called as the operational chart of accounts. So your operational chart of accounts, as the name itself suggests, it is the basic uh, chart of accounts, which is very, very necessary for you to carry out your day-to-day functions, day-to-day transactions. Clear? Now, so in SAP, whatever data you create, right? The complete meaning of that particular creation, let it be your company code, let it be your chart of accounts, let it be your fiscal year variant, let it be your posting period variant, let it be your field status variant. So everything gets a meaning attached to it only and only when this particular entity is assigned to a bigger entity. What is a bigger entity out here? It is your company code. So the whole meaning is derived only and only when you have the connection being set up. Not until then. Yeah. So now you have the important concept of something called as your variant principle. First and the foremost, you define, you put in the required information. For example, GL accounts in your chart of accounts. And finally, to complete the meaning, you assign the creation to basically your company code. So here again, we have different kinds of charts of accounts based on the need, based on the requirement. So the operational chart of accounts, the mandatory, because it is used for the day-to-day transactions. Your group chart of accounts may or may not be required because if at all there is no concept of consolidation, if there is only one company code, where is the question of consolidation? So you would not require a group chart of accounts. You would not require. Yeah. Similarly, your country chart of accounts. When you require a country chart of accounts, even here, even this is not mandatory. It is mandatory only and only when there is a deviation from the normal accounting principles. Now, suppose you're the country of the business. Okay, so it differs from the accounting requirements. So in that case, you will definitely have to follow their requirements, their legal requirements to continue your business there. Clear? So that is where you require a country chart of accounts. Now, as usual, this is the most wanted step or the most important step, assigning your operational chart of accounts to your company codes. So whenever you want to try to understand the settings, one company code can use only one operational chart of accounts, but the same operational chart of accounts can be used by n number of company codes, provided and logically they are under the same head office. See, obviously, your TCS cannot use your Reliance chart of accounts. Vice versa, your Geo cannot use the TCS chart of accounts. Obviously, you can. Yeah. So that is the logic. Now, so once this is being done, so now what are the components that we have? We have two components. One is your company code, the other one is your chart of accounts. So we have understood what is required, where and when and how. Now, fiscal year variant. The next most important information what we provide from the finance perspective is to let the SAP system know as to what is your business financial year. Are you following the calendar year or are you following the non-calendar year? Typical examples in your SAP system is your Jan to December is denoted by K4 and your non-calendar year, which our Indian businesses are a wonderful example, they are indicated by V3. So it is not really necessary for us to create the fiscal year variance. We can always pick up from the already existing standard fiscal year variance. Same thing applies to the other components also. It is not only with respect to the fiscal year variance, but the other components can also, the other standard components can also be made use. Yeah. Now, what is the special posting periods? Your special posting periods are used only to accommodate specific entries, specific authorized entries, which are actually permitted based on who has issued it. Is it a competent authority which has asked you to change the or to incorporate the transaction? If it is yes, you incorporate. When is this applicable? When is the concept of special posting periods applicable? Once you have finished your financial year and you want to close the books of accounts for a specific year, then and only then you are going to use the concept of your special posting periods to accommodate your authorized entries. Entries which are authorized typically by your auditor or by your head office or by any of the governmental authorities. Yeah. So only on the advice of the competent authorities you are supposed to incorporate this increase. After the last day of the year is over and the entries still are pertaining to the previous year of accounting. Clear, students? I've already given you an example. So posting period variant. This, if you ask my personal definition, I would say that this is nothing but an extension of the fiscal year variant, which allows me to control the nature of the general ledger accounts for which I can post or I can transact, and also the period for which I can carry out the transaction. Yeah. So these two are possible through the posting period variant. Now, another important concept is your field status variant. Now, what is this field status variant? Your field status variants help you to control the transactional screens. So basically, just give me a moment, students. 1 minute. So we were trying to discuss what was the role of a field status variant. I said control the transactional screens. Now, in SAP, what can happen? Now, if some of the uh, fields, now we know we are comfortable with uh, what we need to understand by the term fields, correct? So when we enter the transactions, we saw the fields, your network, your cost center, your profit center, they were all the fields in the transactions. Now let me assume that for simple transactions, so many unrelated fields are made mandatory. That means the user needs to enter those fields even though they don't give enough meaning or they don't mean anything to the transaction. Would you like the system to behave like that? Absolutely no. So based on the need, based on the requirement, the consultant can actually play around with the fields. He can hide certain fields. He can make the fields to be displayed only. He can make the fields mandatory. He can make the fields optional. By default, the fields provided by the standard SAP screens, they are optional. They are optional. Clear, students? So based on the business requirement, it is up to the consultant to design the screen as desired by the business. Now, the next important thing what we described was, or what we discussed was, what is an account group? So basically your account groups is the way where you're categorizing your general ledger accounts, right? You are identifying the general ledger account based on the nature of based on their nature. Is it a P&L account? Is it a balance sheet account? Or if you want to elaborately classify, is it a fixed asset account? Is it a current asset account? Is it a customer account? Is it a vendor account? Is it a material related account? So it all depends on the business requirement. How exactly the business wants the consultant to categorize the general ledger accounts. So we also saw the concept of reconciliation account, the balance carry forward, the retained earnings account. So we also saw the process of the accounts payable, accounts receivable, concept of reconciliation account, and very, very important concepts like your automatic payment program, your dunning, your bank. Yeah, students, did we all look at it? So was this recap helpful? Now for the next 5 minutes, I'll allow you to talk because these are the only 5 minutes available for you to interact with me, students. So please make the best use of it. Was the recap helpful for you? Yeah, students. How did you find the session? How did you find the entire program? Yeah, students, please answer. Yeah, students, any other quick discussion on any topic which you feel is important? Interesting. Good. Good. Did you like this? Thank you so much. Did you like the session? I get to see one wonderful session. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anirudh. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm actually more than glad enough to have helped you out to understand the subject and also try to see the subject is such that once you're out of touch for maybe say even a day or two, you will forget. It simply goes away from your mind. Not your fault, not your fault at all. We have also experienced it. Thank you all for your wonderful words. Thank you. So students, I would specifically advise you, just keep in touch with the subject because it is very easy for you for anybody to forget this. No, I'm not we will be so very confident that okay, we have understood. But when we try to work the next day or maybe say 2 days later, suppose you have learned something on a Friday evening. Suppose you want to reproduce it or you try to learn the same concept on Monday morning, you're lost. At least 50% of the subject is lost. Yes, students, I really mean it. We have experienced it. It is very, very common. Definitely don't worry at all. You'll all clear the assessment. And to just wrap it up, all the best for your CMA examinations. All the very best. Do well. And I hope you will have wonderful careers. Okay. And with my only thing is, please be in touch with SAP because the subject is that it is. This is exactly what we have seen, what we have experienced. Thank you, Surjit. Thank you all. So, shall we wind up? So, all the very best students, do well. Wonderful careers to all of you. All right. Thank you all. Kunal, shall we wind up?
Sure, sir. Thank you, students, for a lovely session. We will meet you on your assessments. And for any help, if you have any query, doubt, or whatever, you can mail us at skilltraining@icmai.in. I will also make it published in section. Don't worry.
So once again, thank you all. All the best. Bye bye.